let's turn this fail into, well, something else. This is Garrick Brown Art Studio. I'm back with another video just for YOU, baby. These are my colors for today's video. I'm going to show you the consistency and a little more about each color at the end. So it leaves a slight mound on the mound. It's very hard to see. It disappears just a second or two after. And all of my colors, while I'm using different paint brands, I have mixed them about the same with some minor tweaks here and there to match or achieve the same consistency. So today we're talking about my consistency. This is a part of my Galaxy Pour series. I really wanted to nail this technique, and so one day I woke up and said I want to do Galaxy Pours, and here we are. Now, friends, I don't want you to worry about these colors because guess what? You're going to see this color palette many more times before it's all said and over, and I will give you these colors in a future video, but today I want to focus on the consistency. So earlier you saw how it left a little bit of a mound on the mound. You would think that it was thick enough, but for the Galaxy Pour, a Galaxy Pour is really nothing but a straight pour. But to get that Galaxy look, you need those fingerlings, okay? You need those fingerlings, and you need your paint to be thick enough to hold up. And so what you're going to see today is my paints are rather thin. So I've been experimenting with so many different recipes, and I haven't been sharing them because most of them I don't like. I know that there's something better out there, but I will share this one with you in case you've tried it. This is 2 parts American Floetrol to 1 part Elmer's glue and then 1 part paint. And wow, it appears thick, it's actually thin. So most people don't understand that your Galaxy Pour paint needs to be actually pretty thick in order for you to keep those fingerlings, if you will. So even though we did not do a ring pour, and that would be swirling our cup around in rings, the paint as it comes out of the cup appears like we actually did do a ring pour because it is too thin. So you will see it comes out very beautiful, but it does not hold or create any fingerlings, okay? So in the future videos, you will see I'll get to some thicker consistencies and you'll see a drastic difference. So now I'm just going to let you enjoy a little bit. We're going to pour this cup out together. And here we go. So on screen, paint can really look deceiving. To me, this paint does look a little bit thin, but I'm also the one that poured it. But initially, it looked rather thick. It left a little bit of a mound, which is what we are going for. But you see here, as we pour, just doing our straight pour, when we get more colors in, it looks like it's actually a ring pour. So these colors are just falling into each other. They're not mixing, and that's partly because I mixed them to almost the same consistency, and I don't have a lot of transparent paints. Transparent paints and your Galaxy Pours can get lost depending on what is next to them. So I made sure that my lighter colors had an opaque base, or I mixed a medium that helps to make the paint more opaque. And so that little jiggle motion that you see, that is how I would create my fingerlings. That slight movement back and forth creates these beautiful angel wings, which I call fingerlings and many other artists call fingerlings. And that is what you really helps to make your composition. When you're doing a Galaxy style pour, I would say about the outer edges of your painting are going to disappear because they will go off the canvas. So the focus is always going to be towards the center, and how you end your pouring out of the cup really can dictate if this turns out to be a piece that you like or you don't like. So we try not to get any stray marks out of our cup. We try to end and by putting our finger to the cup and creating like a really nice end to the flow of our paint out of the cup. And I didn't do it here. I already knew that this was kind of not going to go so well once I saw how thin the paint was and that I was not getting those fingerlings. But now we're just going to add some more paint for flow. And we're just going to see if we can make something out of this and still get a beautiful outcome. So I'm tilting in time. I'm not speeding it up so you can see how easy the paint moves because it's so thin. I have to tilt very slowly to avoid losing my composition early on. One thing about your paints, and this is one of the tips I want to give in this video. So I like to mix my paints up the day before, but beware, chunks can really mess up the composition in your piece because the chunk of paint flows slowly or slower than the rest of the paint, which can disrupt the movement of your paints and how it actually looks. There were actually a couple small chunks in this painting because I mixed my paints up the day before and I forgot to cover them before I went to bed. So the outside of the top layer had kind of dried a little bit, and so I tried to pick it out, but of course it's inevitable that some chunks will stick around. So cover those paints if you mix it up the day before. It also helps to eliminate those air bubbles. You can see here that this paint is just flawless. There were very few air bubbles in there. And now we've tilted it off that one side, and we're going to kind of finish it up and go back to our other sides. And for the record, let me just say, this piece doesn't look bad. It's just not something that I would want to keep. It wouldn't be something that I would be proud to sell. So I wanted to bring you through my journey, and it's good to show the failures and help folks along the way. I know sometimes we just want to paint and hope for the best, but you kind of have to learn through the good and the bad. So I wanted to record this video and just show you. And also, what do you do whenever you have a painting that you don't like? Do you just scrape it, or can you use it for something else? So I'm going to keep going here. And I like the composition. I don't like the center so much. I like that it is off center, but I love the super white part, but the actual center, it looks a little messy to me, and it's just not that nice looking in my eyes. So I decided let's tilt it off. At this point, I didn't think this was a keeper, so I just kind of did my own thing. Plus, I had quite a bit of paint on the canvas, so I decided to tilt the center off. So, folks, it's not the end, but it's the end of this piece, if you will. We are going to take some more of our leftover paint and we're just going to do some swipes. I'm going to use this as a background, and here we go. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. So what are your thoughts on the final outcome? I hope you enjoyed this video. And family, remember to do every single thing with love. Treat your friends, your family, and even your enemies with love. See you in the next video. Peace.